Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib, and we got a great show for you today. And if you want to call and ask questions, 323-870-3857. And tonight, we're going to talk about Vladimir Klitschko wanting to stop Dmitry Bivol from fighting Canelo. We'll tell you why. But first, let's get started with this weekend's action on DAZN. Leigh Wood versus Michael Conlan. 12 rounds for Wood's WBA regular featherweight title. This may have been the fight of the year so far this year, man. Leigh Wood knocks out Michael Conlan in the 12th round to retain his WBA featherweight title. Conlan started out fast here. He knocked Wood down at the end of the first round. I thought he was going to take Wood out in the second. I really did. I mean, he was really tagging him with some shots. I'm actually surprised Wood got up from that first knockdown. His legs looked very shaky at the end of that. So big props to him, man, because he came back with a vengeance. He eventually got his legs under him and started applying pressure, but it was Conlan who was getting the better of the exchanges. As the fight went to the later rounds, you could see that Conlan was getting tired. And in round 11, now Wood was credited for a knockdown at the very end of the round. I can't tell. I still couldn't tell if this was a slip or a knockdown, but it was called a knockdown nonetheless. At this point now, the fight is really close. The 12th round starts. Both guys are going for it. Wood puts Conlan on the ropes and just lands a combination. And after that, dumped him right on the floor, man. It looked like he hit him with a right hand. It was a right hand that did it. Michael Conlan said it was actually a right hand to his temple that got him. So that was a shot that actually did it. He fell out to the floor. Conlan fell out to the floor, was immediately stretchered out and taken to the hospital. He's fine. It was a scary moment, obviously, but he was fine. He was on Twitter this morning saying he wants a rematch and everything like that. I had to watch this on slow motion on Twitter because for whatever reason, DAZN would not show the end of the fight on replay. I absolutely hate DAZN. And that fight, that 11th round knockdown, again, they have such a lousy angle on it that you can't tell. You can't tell what the deal was. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of DAZN. Beeb, what were your thoughts on this fight?
Every time we break down these fights, we recap these fights. We talk about what the guy should have done, what the guy shouldn't have done, why the guy won, and why the other guy lost, obviously. So we do the X's and O's, we break it down. But this week, all I can say was this was just a perfect fight. It was a perfect fight. This fight had everything. This fight had the storyline, right? The buildup was kind of intriguing. It was exciting. And it wasn't really distasteful, but they were going back and forth. They had that rivalry, you could see, but they were going back and forth, but it wasn't distasteful. Like I said, this was more than just about the X's and O's, the tactics, the strategy. This was about two guys that were in situations in this fight where it looked like they were in serious distress. Obviously, Conlan got off to a great start, and Wood was in trouble, and it was questionable whether or not he was going to make it to the end of this fight. But he recovered, right? He made the adjustments. Right. What he started doing was he started timing Conlan a little bit. He started catching that left hand, and as he caught it, he was throwing his right hook. Right, and then he tried to close the gap a little bit, and he would tie up Conlan with one arm, and he would stop punching him with the free hand. So he kind of roughed him up a little bit. So Conlan seemed to be quicker, and when he had space, he seemed to have more success. So Conlan did successful when he was allowed to have space and he was allowed to get his stuff off. But when Wood started making this more of an ugly fight, more of an aggressive fight, right? that's when it really, really started getting interesting. And you could see the body work. Like I said, when he tied him up with one arm, he would start ripping him to the body with the free hand. And that started to wear down Conlan a little bit. So like I said, this fight had everything. It had ebbs and flows. It had action. It had knockdowns. It had drama. And when you see the crowd and how they were singing the whole fight, this was fight of the year so far. And in my opinion, it's going to be hard for a fight to top this. It's going to be hard. I know it's early, but it's going to be hard for a fight to top this. And then, sometimes you look at something and you say, well, why was Conlan just landing that left hand at ease? Because it was a wide loop-in shot.
Sweeping shot, yeah.
But you ever notice when guys do land that shot, there's one little trick they do. So in order for that shot to land, you have to land it with, with your opponent not being able to see it. It's almost like a blind shot, right?
Yeah.
So if you notice what Conlan was doing, a lot of guys do this when they land that shot. Bradley used to do it too. Like what they do is they dip down. And whenever you dip down in front of your opponent, you force him to look down. And when your opponent looks down at you when you're dipping down and you come over the top with a looping shot. Now, if you throw a straight shot, he could see it because even though he's looking down, he can see what's in front of him. But in order to see the looping shot, you have to kind of be upright like this, because when you're looking down, it kind of impairs your peripheral vision a little bit. You've noticed when you look down, you can't really see what's off to the side, but when you're up like this, you can see what's off to the side more. So when he did that little dip, if you watch, he did that little dip, and obviously he was trying to counter him. He was trying to sucker him in, but he did that little dip just to get Wood's vision looking downward, and then he was throwing that looping hand. But like I said, as time was going on, so he basically changed levels. But as the rounds were going on, Wood kind of stopped biting on that feint, and he started gauging that a little bit. And I think one thing that was it was mentioned, but I don't think it was emphasized enough, was the effect that Wood's body work was really having on Conlan. You could see his face. You could see him grimacing. You could see how, as the fight wore on, he was getting tired, right? And I think all three judges and everyone that I know gave Wood the 10th and 11th rounds, right? And then he had the knockdown in the 11th.
Yeah, that's a three-pointer right there. Yeah,
that's a three-pointer. And so this was a close fight. Two of the judges had Conlan up by a point. I think they had another judge had it 105-102. So if Wood won the last round, would have been a majority draw. So a lot of people were saying, oh, he needed that knockout or he would have lost. No, all he had to do was win the round. He was winning the round even before the knockdown. So if he won that round,
you talk about that knockdown. That's
and
if they finish. I mean, yeah.
So if he wins that last round, it's a draw. So it's a majority draw. So he technically he did not need the knockout to win the fight. He needed the knockout to win the fight, but he still could have not lost the fight, in other words.
Right.
So,
Beeb, let me ask you a question. Did this remind you a little bit of Julio Cesar Chavez, Meldrick Taylor?
A lot like that.
From the fight, it looked like one guy was just completely dominating it, and then the other guy, he was really extracting a price from that guy, man. I mean, just with the body work and everything like that. Wasn't winning rounds, but being very effective.
Now I have to ask you a question. Because you're Mr. I hate rematches. Would you co-sign a rematch on this fight?
You know what? I absolutely would. I would. That's the first thing I thought about when he got knocked out. Because again, I didn't see the knockout until later on because you couldn't replay it. I mean, I replayed it on the zone, and it's such a weird angle that you can't see what hit him, Yeah, I would totally co-sign on a rematch because this was – I'm a big Leigh Wood fan, man. I like Leigh Wood. I didn't pick him to win this fight, obviously. I had Conlan winning this fight pretty easy. No, wow. I thought Conlan was going to get this fight. I mean, I was so excited for Leigh Wood because I'm a huge fan of that. I really like Leigh Wood a lot, but yeah, I didn't think he was going to get it done. Conlan, to me, was just too slick but Wood just showed the heart of a lion. He's fighting in front of his home country. I mean, what else can you do, man? He did everything he should have done, and man, that was something. I'd like to see a rematch, but he's the regular champion. Who's the champion? Is that Santa Cruz?
Santa Cruz.
Yeah, that fight will never end. That's an awesome fight, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Leigh Wood and Santa Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
As much pressure as they put on each other, you know what I mean? That's an awesome fight. I mean, that's a beautiful fight.
Or Navarrete, right?
Yeah. You know, I think Leigh Wood is a really good fighter.
Yeah, Santa Cruz the champ at 126 or
I believe he is. I believe he's the
okay, yeah,
WBA
he is.
champ.
He is. You're right. He is.
You know, he's the WBA champ. I would love to see that fight. I don't think we will, just based on people keeping things in-house. But I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, I think I can't wait to see Leigh Wood again. If it's against Conlan, that's great. If it's against somebody else, that's fine too. I'm real anxious to see how Conlan recovers from this as well, because that was a hard, tough fight. You know what I mean? That was a long fight. He took some shots in there, so did the other guy. But I really want to see, like, you know, it's tough when you get knocked out like that.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
Now you got to come back because you know you're susceptible. You know you can get knocked out again. You know, and now that's in the back of your mind now. Whereas before, you can't get knocked out; it's impossible.
Yeah.
But now you see that it's possible.
That chink in your armor has been cracked now, so to speak.
Right. You know, once you get knocked out, you can get knocked out again. It's, you know what I mean? It's just that's the way it is.
And that temple may be his sweet spot because he was getting hit in the chin, in the face, like the nose, cheeks.
He took those shots really well.
And he was taking them very well.
Most of those shots really well.
Sort of like Roy Jones. I remember every time he used to get hit in the temple, he used to just short circuit and he used to just
that's it. Yeah.
Fall down on a lump. Yeah.
That was such a quick combination that he put him up against those ropes and he hit him with that right hand. It was so fast, you know, that again, I'm watching it. I didn't see it until Twitter later on, and I was able to slow it down and see this and everything. And it was like, wow. I mean, he clocked him. And I knew it was a shot he didn't see. He couldn't have seen it because he just went limp right there on the ropes, man. He was out, you know, and then ultimately fell through the ropes, you know, but neither guy has anything to be ashamed of, man. Now, is Conlan still with Top Rank?
Yeah, because what's his name was there? What's that guy's name? Carl Moretti. He was there. So he works. Yeah, he's I think he's the VP. He's like the VP of Top Rank.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a high executive position. He's right there with Todd DeBuff and
because that's why they chose this fight. They chose it because it was going to be a money fight, and they thought that, you know, Leigh Wood was not going to win that fight.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they chose it. So
wow, after 10 rounds, Reese Mack had it 8-2 for Conlan. Wow, that's wide.
That's wide. I don't again, man, I don't hate the score because it's, you know,
I guess there were swings, huh? There's a lot of swings.
There's a lot of swings in there. What I gave Conlan 6 of the first 7 rounds. And then I had him, 10 and 11, I think belonged to Wood. And then I think I had him splitting most of the rest. So
you had it 7-4, I think. You must. I think you gave Wood 4 rounds, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see here. My final total was 105, and not counting the last round, 105 to 102. So I had it the same way as the one judge had it. How many rounds did I give him? 1, 2, 3,
gave him 4.
4. Yeah, I gave him 4 rounds. You know, and I got to see that. They did a horrible job with those replays last night because I still can't tell. I couldn't tell, and I watched it over again, if that was a knockdown or was it a slip.
If you watch closely, they did do a replay on that one.
Yeah.
And they did 2 of them, and the punch did actually land.
But he was off. I mean, he was like off balance or something.
I don't
like that.
know if his leg
almost pushed.
I don't know if his legs got crossed or if he slipped on a decal on the ring, but it's as he slipped, the punch lands simultaneously. So in real time, it looked like a knockdown.
Yeah. So I mean, even with replay or whatever, it would be hard to reverse that, you know. So I mean, it is what it is. It's a knockdown, and I mean, once he got that knockdown, man, that was a different fight at that point.
Yeah, it revitalized him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I think it was Aaron Daly said the atmosphere there was crazy last night. I can't even imagine what the atmosphere there was.
Yeah.
That's got to be insane.
And they were singing it throughout the whole fight. I tell everyone, those are the best fans in the world, man. When my UK brothers over there, man, we are the best fans in the world, man. I love my UK brethren, man. That's why I'm so glad I got dual citizenship.
Well, you got a flat there.
I got
In
a nice flat in
Nottingham, isn't it?
No, Manchester, but
Manchester.
they know me in Nottingham. Nottingham and Sheffield are my home away from homes when I go down there.
They know you there. In all those cities, the Beeb's known, you know.
Yeah, they give me some nice nice Yorkshire pudding when I go down there, baby.
Yorkshire pudding. You know, I actually thought, until like a couple of years ago, that Yorkshire pudding was actually a pudding. I had no idea what it was.
You're not in the loop.
I'm not the loop. I'm not the English loop.
We have a dish called bangers and mash there. You know what that is?
Mashed potatoes and sausage, isn't it?
Good job.
Yeah. Do you eat spotted dick when you're over there?
Please.
That's what it is. That's what they call it. That's what they call it.
I'll try to slip a fast one.
All right, any of my English guys in the chat, tell me. Let them know, man, what spotted dick. It's a dessert.
Please.
Beeb likes to chomp on that.
Please.
Not all.
It's okay, Lois.
It's Lois has got the button. I'm calling HR. Oh my goodness. All right, and that was pretty much it. The undercards, not much to write home about.
What about Terry Harper? She made a nice comeback victory after that knockout loss to Alicia Baumgardner. What about her?
They had chicks fighting on there?
Come on, brother. Enough with this. Enough with this now. Enough with this chauvinistic, misogynistic view of women's boxing. Please. I had to pull out the thesaurus for those two words. But please.
Misogynistic, chauvinistic. So what happened in that fight? Terry Harper win?
Yeah, it was a shutout basically. It was a showcase fight, but it was a good confidence builder.
When is Ebony Bridges fighting again?
Why?
Just curious.
Why do you need to know that?
You know, you always get on me. You always get on me for not watching the women's fights or
why do you like her so much and you don't like any of the other fighters?
Why can't I have a favorite fighter? I can't have a favorite fighter? Why can't I have a favorite fighter? That doesn't make any sense.
Is she your favorite female boxer?
Yeah.
Come on, Eric. Please. Please.
I saw her on what was it, on Twitter? She was like, "Can you guys guess the color I'm going to wear at the weigh-in?" I'm like, why don't you just get an OnlyFans account already? Start doing porn. I mean, like, really, like, what are you doing? You know?
You know what? I can't say it. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it.
What are you going to say? What's the matter with you? What do you mean? You can't. All right, you can't just take it up to the edge and then all of a sudden pull back and say, I can't do it.
Do you think? No, I don't. I can't. Do you think there's like a sex tape out there of her with somebody? She seems like that type of person that would be like do like a Pam Tommy tape. No,
up in my drawer there is. I mean,
do you ever see those websites where they have like those cam models and guys
I'm
like
not familiar
pay
with that people
and guys pay. Not that I would do this though. But,
I was gonna say you know an awful lot of details about this.
Yeah, like guys will pay to see the girls, you know, do their little thing.
I want to see Tony Yayo's girl, man. He says Ebony is quite average. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Ebony Bridges. Tried to get her on, man, but it was she never replied.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even try to get her on. I'll call her up. Don't worry about it.
For a call, she knows you.
She knows me, son. Kung Fu Jitsu says Eric will secretly watch the Katie Taylor fight. I don't know.
Are you into that fight or no?
I don't know.
D-Style just asked me what type of websites do they have those? It's called Cam Models. CamModels.com.
God.
Tell them Beeb
So what do you do? You go on based on his magazine subscriptions. Robbie just sent me a thing saying she fights on March 20-some on his own. Who cares? I don't care when she fights. I want to see her on cam, son. Nobody cares. He's not following. You know what I mean? So you go to these places. So you go to these websites, and there's like girls on cam, and you tell them what to do, or what?
What happens is they do their routine, right?
All right.
And then if you want to like go a private one-on-one with him, you gotta pay him, and then you kind of have like a virtual experience. You ever seen that before?
So she's on one side. So she's on
the one side, and you can share. You can share your
on the other side.
You don't have to. You could be incognito, laying in the cut in the back, man. You don't have to. You don't have to show your cam if you don't want to. But
so this is like okay. So this is like going to a strip club, right? So you go to a strip club, and if you want like a VIP dance or whatever, you take her in the back or whatever, and that was kind of like. Otherwise, you're out there with everybody, and she's just doing the public thing.
Yeah, but there's toys involved in this one too. You know, this gets really this can get next level real quick.
Next level. How much do you usually pay for stuff like that?
Oh, I don't really. I just go in there, just to see who's
if
there.
you were. Let me ask you a question. Okay, so if you were to pay for something like this, we all know you wouldn't. But if you were to pay for something like this, how much would something like said thing cost?
It varies. It could be anywhere from 20 to
He's got all the details.
20 to 40 in the 20 to 40 range. Yeah, I'll send you a tutorial. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, send me a tutorial on it. Oh my goodness. This has gone out of hand. Gone off the rails quick, son. Just gone off the rails. I tell you what, I am fighting a cold, man, like no other, man.
You got a cold?
Yeah.
I thought it was allergies.
Nah, this is a cold. I think my daughter had one, and I think she gave it to me. At least that's a story I'm going to tell.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. So next week, see what the upcoming fights are. March 19th. I believe that's Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Saturday. Listen, it's March 19th. Whether it's Saturday or not, it is what it is. I don't know. All right, so
Saturday.
March 19th, we have, let's see here. Edgar Berlanga. This is on ESPN Plus from New York. Edgar Berlanga versus Steve Rolls, 10 rounds, super middleweights. This is a pretty good fight. That's a decent fight. You don't like that fight?
What, Berlanga and Rolls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's a good step up. It's a good step up for him.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Xander Zayas versus Quincy Levias. 8 rounds junior middleweights, and then a bunch of people I've never heard of. So that'll be on ESPN Plus. Let's see here. On DAZN, Virgil Ortiz Jr., this is also on the 19th, will face Michael McKinson, 10 rounds welterweights. And let's see here. There's a card in Japan. Nobody we know. The 19th in Dubai, Sonny Edwards versus Muhammad Wasim, 12 rounds for Edwards' IBF flyweight title. I would think Regis Prograis is also on that card against Tyrone McKenna. So that's got to be a Probellum card, I would think.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's got to be, I mean, they got to televise that somewhere, no?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I would think. You'd think if Prograis is fighting, I mean, he's pretty high profile.
Yeah.
March 19th in London, David Avanesian versus Askari Metz, 12 rounds welterweights. And again, no TV on that. Let me see if there's anything else coming up. The next big one is March 26th, and that's Tim Tszyu versus Terrell Gausha. And that's going to be on Showtime.
Yeah. Then we got Martinez versus Warrington. Kiko Martinez versus Warrington.
Yeah, I just looked at that. Wow, that's going to be a good fight. That's a real good fight.
Yeah.
Who do you think gets that one?
You'd have to favor Warrington, but I wouldn't be surprised if Martinez upset him. If you put a gun, if you put a gun on my head, I'll pick Warrington. Warrington he's coming off those 2 tough fights with Mauricio Lara, so it's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man.
It's a tough one. He hasn't been looking the greatest lately, you know?
No.
Warrington could lose that fight.
Let's go to the phones here. Ringside Robert, 530. You're live.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's the word?
What did you just wake up or something?
Sounded like you just woke up, didn't it? Like I rostered about bed or something like that.
Hey, guys. What's going on, guys? Wake up when you come on here, for Christ's sake. Drink a cup of coffee or something. Get going.
Sorry to bother you, pal.
Oh my God!
Why are you so giggling? Would you just smoke a joint? Will you just smoke a joint? What are you giggling for?
Good God! It doesn't take much to get you going, Joe. I'll just say that. That was an incredible fight yesterday, man. And that's got to be early candidate for fight of the year.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm glad to hear that Conlan is good. How'd I have it? I had Conlan winning. I had Conlan winning 7-4.
7-4. Okay. Would you copy and paste Eric's scorecard?
No. Come on, Joe. You could have accused me of doing that with yours when we were talking when we did the.
Well, you did. I screenshotted it and sent it to you. I already know you did mine.
Oh my God!
I screenshotted.
No, I still have some if you want.
Robbie, do you know what Joe was talking about with these cam girls?
You can. Yeah, I heard the whole thing. I don't know anything about that.
What's Mrs. Herrick doing in the background? I hear her mumbling. What's going on?
We're having microwave popcorn there, Joe. So
you can't wait till after the call to do that. What's next? What are you doing? You making s'mores?
That's what I was doing when I picked up the phone, man. So anyway,
Jesus Christ, you're making a gingerbread house over there for Christ's sake.
Eric, it really doesn't take much to get him going these days.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
No. You were talking about Ebony Bridges earlier,
Yeah,
and
I was.
she's one of the worst. She's one of the worst fighters I've ever seen.
Oh.
But you know the scary part about. You know one of the scary parts about that. On the 26th, she's actually getting a title shot.
Yeah.
That's on that card. She's getting a title shot.
Yeah.
She's not.
She's getting a title
she's
shot.
Not deserving of any. She's not deserving of any title shot.
Have
Who
you
are
you? Are you on the ratings committee now? You rate? What do you rate the fighters now?
Robbie, have you seen Ebony Bridges?
Yes.
So if Ebony Bridges came to your house,
And-
if she came to your house and said, Robert, I want to take you out on a date, and afterwards I just want to do whatever, would you go out with her?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Oh.
What if she said? Hey,
What if Todd Bridges came to your house and he asked you out on a date?
Give me a break. Give me a break.
What if she goes like this?
No,
to you?
I mean,
what if she goes like
look.
this to you, Robbie? Hey, Robert, you want to go get some gelato? You wouldn't go?
Gelato.
Nope.
I want to get some gelato.
No. Why would you not go on a date with Ebony Bridges? Explain to me why.
Number one, this is a boxing show. I'm not going to talk about dating. Okay, come on, get out of here with that.
This is a boxing show.
I mean, realistically, realistically, guys. I mean, come on, you've seen her fight. Is she worthy of a title shot?
I don't know. I can't even remember any of the fights she's been in.
We're not talking about her fighting. Now we're asking. We're trying to hook up a dinner date with you and
I'm
her.
talking. This is a boxing show. I'm not talking about anything else.
Yeah.
Well,
He's not getting.
Come on.
We can't force you to talk about things you don't want to talk about.
Can't force you to talk about chicks.
But if you want to talk to Mrs. Herrick about microwave popcorn, feel free to do that all day. Feel free to do that all day.
Well, hey.
Did you put the phone in the microwave? What is that noise?
Be careful when you ask somebody what they're doing. You may not like the answer.
Uh-oh.
What does that mean? Jesus Christ.
He's probably in the bathroom.
What are you doing? What are you in the bathroom now?
I mean, come on.
Is this pocket time for you, please?
But you were asking what she was doing. I told you.
Too much information. Please.
Well, this call is falling off the rails.
God.
Like 10 minutes of your day, of your life, you'll never get back, kid.
Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed the main event yesterday, and Eric, I think what it is with DAZN as far as the knockout is concerned, well,
that's the problem with DAZN.
They had a card last. They had a card last year where somebody got seriously hurt. I forget who it was, but they didn't show the replay of that either. I think they've decided whenever somebody gets seriously knocked out, they're not going to replay the ending.
Nah. I don't want to buy it. I think it's just inept because they couldn't show the right angle on that knockdown either.
Why are you doing damage control for DAZN?
Right.
2 years ago,
you
wanted nothing to do with DAZN.
He's all over.
Now that you got DAZN, now you're making excuses for him. You're running interference for DAZN now. What's wrong with
look,
you?
Joe, I kept telling you, when it comes to paying for the two of them, I'd much rather pay for DAZN than ESPN Plus.
Wow, that's messed up, man.
So what does that mean now? You're gonna stop paying for ESPN Plus?
No, I'm talking about boxing. DAZN covers boxing a hell of a lot better than ESPN Plus does.
That is true.
Do they though?
I'll agree with that.
Yes, they do. Yes,
Who's a better commentator?
I can find replays on ESPN, so I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. Who's a better commentator? Sergio Mora or Tim Bradley?
If I had to choose between the two of them, I would much rather take Tim Bradley. Sergio Mora gets on my nerves when he goes with that check left hook business, which I'm very happy to say. Last time he was on the microphone,
don't just say it because Eric says
one.
it now. Don't just say that because Eric says that.
Right. I said it first.
Hey, me and Eric happen to agree on that, Joe. Just like me and you agree on that.
What's this? A little parallel thinking, Robbie? Please. All right. I was born during the day, but not today. Okay, don't try to run a game on the beat.
Not today.
Don't run a game on the beat.
I was born during the day too, brother. You know, come on, get out of here with it. Don't forget, Beef. I've been on this planet a lot longer than you have.
Yeah, 4 years. Wow, that's a lifetime. How old are you, Robbie?
You want to try 5? 5? Hello.
Ooh, 5. Wow. You're a scholar. How old are you, Robbie?
I am 57, brother. I'll be 58 in October.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Pretty soon you'll be getting that senior citizens discount at Publix.
Publix?
In some places I started getting it at 55, brother.
Oh, God.
He was riding chariots to high school, son.
And you've got 3 years to go, and then you'll start collecting some discounts.
Thanks, Robbie. Thanks for reminding me that.
He's going to be at Bill Nash.
I'm very happy to know that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, hey, at least you can put "I Can't Drive 55" on the stereo, brother.
The fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
So,
I'm still tripping on the Ebony Bridges thing.
Anyway, guys, this call has gone off the rails, so I'll get out of here and let somebody else talk.
We'll eat some popcorn, man.
Yeah, send us some popcorn. Give
Mrs. Herrick my regards.
See ya.
He didn't know what to say.
You kick him off, but now you want to, he couldn't take the heat. Little rat.
My nose is dripping like a faucet. I swear. It's crazy. It's cold. I already tested for COVID too.
You don't get sick days here. You don't get sick days here at Beeb Industries.
I know you guys are slave drivers here, man.
You better tuck it out.
Lisa was telling me, she was like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't do the show today. I'm like, I can't. You kidding me?
Sick days. We don't give it.
He breathing down my neck. There ain't no way.
After 3 years of service, we'll give you 2.5 sick days. That's it.
Ebony called me. She was like, you can't do the show in your condition. I was like, it was like condition. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll be all right. Don't worry about it. This is what I got to deal with. It's what I got to deal with, the Beeb.
That's right.
All right. Let's talk about the news and rumors here. Vladimir Klitschko says that Dmitry Bivol should not be allowed to fight Canelo because he said they should put a sanction on Russian fighters and everything like that, Russia, Belarus, everything like that. He does not think that he should be allowed to fight him. which I think was interesting that he came out and said that. Obviously he's got a dog in the fight. I get it. I don't think that that's the case. What are your thoughts on this, Beeb? Thank you so much. HCP, Hispanics Causing Panic. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Not a big fan of mixing politics with sports, and it's even been going farther than that. Now they're canceling ballets and shows with Russian entertainers. They're doing all this type of stuff. To me, it seems like it's a little xenophobic to me, just to assume that all Russian people are sharing the same beliefs as Vladimir Putin. A lot of these athletes, they're not really political anyways. Dmitry Bivol lives in the United States. He says, I have nothing to say about this. I just want it to be over. It's a shame. So, I don't know. I thought the comments from Klitschko, he has a right to say them, and I get where he's coming from, given the situation.
Given the fact he's right in the middle of the
I have some understanding and some empathy for that. But in my own personal opinion, I don't think it's fair to punish these athletes, because if this is going to be part of the sanctions, then I don't think Vladimir Putin gives a shit whether Dmitry Bivol fights or not. It's not going to make him change his mind on what he wants to do. So I think it's that. I think it's ridiculous in my opinion.
I understand where he's coming from. I get you. And again, his country's been invaded. He's right there. His brother's right there. They're both on the front lines. I get it. That being said, and you said they were canceling ballet. Are these like state-sponsored ballets? I mean, I don't, are they private institutions? Or they just have Russians in them? I mean,
here's the thing. Maestro Emil Carr had tickets to a ballet, and they canceled it because it was Russian performers. Yeah.
Wow.
And then they're saying that like Russian entertainers and stuff have to come out and speak against Putin, and they want them or they can't perform either. It's getting real bad.
Well, okay, so they come out and speak against them. Maybe they still got family over there. What about that? You know what I mean? Like you can't. That's why Bivol's shutting up because he can't.
Yeah,
he's probably still got family over there. You know what I mean? Like you can't just come out and
I'm just not on board with it. This whole thing is a mess, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would agree. In other news here, the British Boxing Board of Control announces a ban on Russian and Belarusian boxers. Professional Boxing's British governing body said on Thursday that it would not allow boxers registered or licensed in Russia and Belarus to fight in Britain. This follows the global sanctions in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. BBB of C, there you go, I got that, put out a statement that said, please note the British Boxing Board of Control will not permit boxers registered, licensed by the Russian Boxing Federation or Belarusian Federation of Professional Boxing to compete in the United Kingdom under the jurisdiction of the BBB of C at this time. Okay, so they put this in. You already have. I think what they did was correct. I think that they said when the sanctioning bodies came out and they said no title fights in Russia. I think that was a correct move. Because of what's going on, and it just from a sheer safety standpoint,
doesn't make sense to do anything over there right now.
No, it doesn't make sense. There's a war going on. I get you. But to not allow Russian fighters, Belarusian fighters, who may not have anything to do with this, fight in London or in Britain, that makes no sense to me. That makes zero sense to me. Because you're punishing all these guys. Just like, and I see it like the Olympics, they punished, the Paralympics, where they wouldn't allow Russia to compete in there. God, guys, these are like, all these guys have afflictions. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the highlight of their lives, because that's like, one of the few things they have to look forward to, because obviously they can't do what everyone else does, right? So that's the one day that they're in the spotlight. You know what I mean? And it's a one day to shine, and it got taken away from them. It's horrible.
It really is. Horrible. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, why this is, again, I don't, feel however you want about the war over there. However you want to feel is fine. But when you start taking average people and punishing them.
And the crazy thing about it is these people that are being punished, they really don't have they don't have an opinion either way. They're just, they're not political people, If you ask them what's going on over there, they can't have an in-depth conversation with you about it.
I would be willing to bet a majority live somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, Bivol lives here. I bet a majority of them live somewhere else.
Sure.
So, it's a tough thing, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's
I don't
crazy.
agree with it, but unfortunately we don't get a say on it. So
no, we don't.
All right. Conor Benn versus Chris Van Heerden is set for April 16th. I like that fight, but I think it's a good step for Conor Benn, but I think that Chris Van Heerden is past it. I think he's definitely past his expiration date here. A
lot of people are poo-pooing the fight, but I think it's the right fight. It's the right fight at the right time. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. And
I think it's a good stepping stone fight for him.
Sure.
Team Batman says, I hate that fight. I get it. Trust me.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, but what are you going to do?
Little Penny says Eubanks Jr. will probably fight Brook next. I don't know. Brook apparently is asking for a lot of money for that fight, which I don't blame him because
Eubanks Jr. was saying he'd like to fight Crawford. He wouldn't mind fighting Crawford. Like, what is a middleweight doing calling out like welterweights, man? It's crazy.
Like this dude, I think this dude is like, you get the sense that he's off. That his dad is off and he's off,
He has a lack of self-awareness, this guy, for whatever reason.
For sure.
I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
Do you think he fights Brook next?
I think it's very possible. Do you think that he may, because they're talking like that Charlo's got something big coming up. Now I don't know if it's going to be Munguia next, but you think he could be an opponent for Charlo?
Who's that? Eubank Jr.?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
They're
trying to get Munguia to fight Eubank or to fight Charlo.
Charlo, yes.
But I don't think that fight's coming off. I really don't.
Because of the network situation, you think
because they want it on DAZN and the other way is want it on Showtime.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking maybe Eubank would be a nice fight.
Yeah, I think that's a really good fight. I think that's a solid fight, man, because both, I would favor Charlo in that, but Eubank can bang, man.
Yeah, he can bang.
He's got some power. He's really got some power.
Yeah.
Billy Joe Saunders, social media photos of Billy Joe Saunders have kind of surfaced. And I checked this on a couple of different sites, man, and it looks to be true because I thought the stuff was doctored when I saw it. Did you see these pictures?
Someone was telling me it looks like he weighs like 200 pounds or something like that.
I think he's got to be over 200.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
He blew up?
Yeah, he blew up big time, man. Yeah, you could tell, especially in his face and stuff like that. Yeah, he's put on a massive amount of weight. Yeah.
How much do you think he weighs?
220.
How
tall is he?
Like 5'10"?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely 220. At least 220.
Same as you? Weighs the same as you?
Same as me, yeah, 220. 210, somewhere around there. I'm actually 155, somewhere in there.
There you go.
I bounce around from 155 to 160,
There you go.
That's how I do it. But yeah, man, he's put on the weight. They're speculating that he's pretty much done. Yeah, I would say so. That would be hard to, think about it. You think about these guys going to training camp, right? And they just starve themselves. They're cutting weight. And now they ain't got nothing set up. It's got to be like winning the lotto when you ain't got no money and you win the lotto and you got millions and millions of dollars to spend. You got to go out and go crazy. Buying cars, buying shoes, buying whatever. And then it got to come to a point to stop. And then you got to kind of get back on with life. I think that's kind of how that works. Tony, no way, Lord is 155.
You reminded me of. You remember Don Rickles that he used to do this bit, right? He'd look into the crowd and he'd say like a big guy in the crowd. He'd go, "Wow, you're a big fella. How much you weigh, big?" He'd go, "How much you weigh, big fella?" And the guy would be like, "Oh, about 210. 210. in your ass. He was the best. Oh, he was the best.
When that one dude says, "Oh, big dude in the crowd," he says, "Wow, you look like New Jersey in pants."
I love Don Rickles, man. Maybe
Don Rickles was the best, man.
So good. I think he passed away. I think he was 90 or 91. He lived a long life.
I love Don Rickles was one of my favorites. Yeah. Absolute favorites.
I love that guy.
Lil Penny says, if I won the lotto, I'll go to Vegas and hire the ex-burlesque girls. I imagine with that kind of money, you could probably get something like that done, you know?
Yeah.
This is interesting. This is good. Tank Davis and Raleigh Romero is finally set for May 28th at the Barclays Center on Showtime. It's not listed as Showtime pay-per-view, just Showtime. So that lets you know that last pay-per-view must have tanked, son.
Is that going to be Showtime pay-per-view, or it's going to be? You think
it was listed as Showtime, not Showtime pay-per-view. Yeah, I was surprised on that too. I just took for granted that it was going to be on pay-per-view, and then I looked it up and it just said Showtime on it. I was like, whoa,
wow, that's crazy,
craziness, right? The British Boxing Board of Control had a busy week this week. Ian John Lewis, your boy, has been downgraded, whatever that means, in the wake of the controversial Josh Taylor-Jack Catterall fight decision, a decision that is likely to affect his chances of refereeing or judging a world title fight in the future.
So what's that mean? Like when there's a fight on, he's in the stand selling popcorn? Like what's going on?
Cold beer here, you know? I don't know.
What's he going to be doing?
I don't know.
Peanuts here!
They bought him a seat cushion so he could watch the fight from the fifth row or something. I don't know. But
fresh beer here.
I don't know, man. I tell you what, I thought that decision, I didn't think that was not a robbery, man.
No, but his scorecard was crazy, bro.
I'm not a big fan of his. So if he's like their Adelaide Bird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's like he's a referee too, and he's even worse as a referee.
Oh, he's terrible,
he's
right?
Aggravating.
He sucks.
He's bad, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I thought about it. I kind of felt bad for him. But you know, now after talking to you, I hope he loses his job.
Yeah.
It's cold-blooded.
Right.
Man. You're messed up. 5 men are accused in the slaying of Hector Camacho. They just found him. I guess they just found these guys. What is it, like 10 years ago?
Yeah,
that was like,
that was one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever heard in boxing when he passed away. He was awesome. Hector Camacho.
He was.
He was such a character. Oh my God, he's so missed, man.
Yeah. I mean, he got it. He was one of the ones that gets it. You know what I mean? 5 men are accused of the slaying of Hector Macho Camacho and a friend while they sat in a Ford Mustang outside a bar in November 2012. Killing that shocked many who revered the boxer. 3 of the suspects were serving federal sentences for unrelated crimes and were flown in from Florida as part of what the police called Operation Knockout. A 4th suspect was arrested in the pre-dawn hours in the same city where Camacho was killed, emerging with only a towel wrapped around his waist just minutes after the police with long weapons surrounded his house, knocked out a window. A 5th suspect remains in Puerto Rican prison for an unrelated case. Authorities said 2 other suspects were killed in unrelated events in 2013 and 2015.
So someone must have ratted them out then, I'm thinking, right?
Well, you know how, I mean, you get behind bars, you talk, you know, I mean, that's how it goes. People talk and everything like that. So
he would never rat.
What's that?
He would never rat.
You would never rat?
The right price, maybe, but you know.
I think you'd probably rat.
You know what? Can I tell you something?
Yes.
All these guys, I'm not a rat. I would never. You put the pressure to somebody. If someone's facing 3 consecutive life sentences, they're gonna rat. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, especially there. I mean, because again, man, you talk about crimes you've done and stuff like that, and you know, I mean, things.
Remember Shawshank Redemption? Remember Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
The guy when the guy told him like that he knows the guy that killed his wife.
The warden had him killed, son.
Yeah.
He had him killed quick, boy.
That's horrible, man. Craziness,
man. Just craziness.
I was almost in that movie.
You were almost in Shawshank?
Yeah, I was gonna be one of the extras.
Were you? Were you the guy that the sisters followed around, or which one were you?
I have no words for that one.
Sisters were following Beam. I'll never rat. Don't worry about it.
1 for Eric, 0 for me.
All right, guys, and that is the news. That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. And you can find me on Twitter at ringside73. And we will see you guys next week.